All right. First of all, I apologize to everyone. I got stuck in traffic, so I had to pull over. I just couldn't make it back to my computer in time, so I'm doing this on my phone. Uh, Welcome. I'm Dr. Staci Saner. I am the program director for the University of Louisville School of Medicine's online programming for health professions education. I'm going to spend a few minutes walking through our program, explaining what it is that we have, what we do, and then hopefully there'll be a few minutes left over if you have questions, and if there's anything we can answer for you, we'll happily do that. So, next. So, there are several goals for our HPE program. I have some big overarching goals, but there's three main goals. So the first one is to develop educational leaders. I want to develop people who know about education in the health professions, because that is really important to help people understand how learning works, how memories work, how to help our students and learners and trainees develop the skills to create durable memories so that they can hang on to stuff well past their board exams. And then our second goal is really to provide the institution with what we would call highly qualified educators. A lot of you went to school, you became a clinician or you became a researcher. You never took any classes or courses in understanding how to teach or what teaching was. They just assumed you have an MD or DO or PhD or DMD, whatever. Hey, you can teach, right? So I really want to be able to provide our healthcare institutions with highly qualified educators. And then our third goal is really about serving the discipline of health professions education. So if you're not real familiar, there's a lot of rich research activities, research things that you can work on in this arena. You can either look very minimal at or very small scope, like maybe just within your discipline, but you can also, there are journals that will look at HPE as a whole. So there's lots of great places to have scholarship and do some research. So this is one of the ways I like to make sure everybody understands that there are some really great ways that we can serve the discipline. So we have competencies like lots of programs. And so I've got 6. I'm going to walk through those 6 competencies with you so you really get an idea of what it is we're trying to accomplish. The first one is really all about helping you, when you finish the program, have the ability to create learning opportunities that is informed by learning science and informed by relevant educational theory for both the didactic classroom and the clinical learning environment. We want you to be able to do that in both environments. So create good educational opportunities. Our second competency falls around having the ability to assess and to evaluate and use the research to make best decisions based on best practices. And I really think this competency is super important because there is a difference between evaluation and assessment, and learning how to use those tools is imperative. The next competency is developing and promoting your, what I call, professional educator identity. Some of you could be a physician or a dentist or a nurse or some other clinical specialty, but a lot of times if you talk to people, what do? You say, I'm a surgeon or whatever. I really want you to flip that and start thinking about yourselves as the educator. I'm a surgeon educator, I'm a dental educator, I'm a nurse educator. And so there are actually things that we can do to help folks not only promote your personal professional identity, but help your colleagues promote their professional educator identity. Our next competency, the fourth one, is I really want folks to be able to use evidence-based strategies to engage all learners and, really foster a supportive learning environment that is geared towards academic success. And there are certain things that we can do to help all our learners. And sometimes they're really little things that are incredibly research based, and I look forward to being able to share those items with you. So our fifth competency is having some scholarly skills. I want you to have the skills, these scholarly skills, to influence the direction that your educational environment goes. I want you to be able to say, literature says best practice for this type of whatever is this. And so know how to access the literature in the educational realm and understand how it applies to the programming that you are involved in. Then our last competency that I really like to pay attention to is providing you with leadership skills. In my opinion, if you can't influence, then you cannot lead. So there are things that you can do to increase your influence, and whether that is around your department, your school, or across an entire institution, there are things that you can do to help guide so that we are utilizing best practices and evidence-based instructional strategies to teach our learners. So next, I was going to show you, you can quickly see this is kind of our little year in review. We have 13 states in the US that are represented. So about 27% of our students are out of state. We have clinicians that have education degrees that teach in our program. I have a surgeon, I have 2 dental faculty, I have a child life therapist, I have nurses, I have all kinds of folks that have the knowledge and skills and background to be able to teach in this program. We also, our program is generally almost all of the courses are what we would call 8-week asynchronous classes. So that means it is on your own time. Obviously, there are due dates and things that you have to have done by different periods of time, but the asynchronousness of it makes you able to do the work when it's best for your schedule. Yeah, sometimes faculty have, office hours. Sometimes faculty have, like you might have a required meeting with a faculty member, but those are generally scheduled at a time that's convenient for both you and the faculty member. And then the other thing I really like to make sure folks know is our concentration in this program is on the skill of teaching. There are other HPE programs across the country that really hone in on that research and scholarship aspect of HPE, but here we are going to concentrate on the teaching. We don't get rid of research, we utilize the research, and we talk about research, but my goal is not to make you expert educational researchers. My goal is to make excellent educators. And then we really do care about helping and making a big impact on the next generation of providers, and we want to be able to support your journey as you work on that. So next, let's see. I'm going to walk, we have two programs. So we have a graduate certificate, which is 12 credit hours, so 3 credit hours each for 4 courses to get the 12 hours. And these are the 4 courses that are in the certificate. We have evaluation and assessment, teaching and learning, program development, and instructional strategies. All 4 of these courses come together and make what we call the core of the HPE program. So it introduces you to learning science. It introduces you to evidence-based practice. It introduces you to instructional strategies and how those are different, whether you're in a clinical learning environment or a classroom. So these are really important foundational skills. And the best part about it, if you're not sure if you want to do the certificate or the master's, you can start with the certificate and see how you like the courses. And then if you decide later, yeah, I think I'll do the master's, these 4 courses will roll over directly into the master's degree. So 4 courses, 3 credit each. That's 12 credit hours for a graduate certificate. Next, I'm going to kind of walk through the master's program. It is a 33 credit hour non-thesis program. You have a professional project at the end. And a moment ago, I did mention that almost all courses are this 8-week course. The last semester that you are in the program, it is a full 16-week semester for the professional project because it is just hard to get something done as big as a final project for a degree in an 8-week time frame. So I also like to point out that all our courses are HPE specific. I know there are programs across the country that are work with their colleges of education, and they may have 4 or 5 courses that are HPE specific, but then the rest of them, they are graduate courses within the College of Education, and that is not the case here. All of our courses are HPE specific. And so when you're thinking about the master's program, that 33 credit hours, you have those 4 certificate courses that we just talked about. And then the following, there's educational leadership. I talked about how important it is to be able to influence. Evidence-based practice. This will be your introduction and help with looking at literature and how evidence is gathered and used in the professions. And then that professional project, which is that last 16-week course. And then we have electives. We have lots of electives. I think we just got a couple up here. There's well-being, we have simulation, we have feedback, we have other courses wrapped around different topics. I really think we have qualitative statistics, if that is something that really piques your interest. We have populations, looking at the different populations of learners. We have, I'm just trying to remember all our electives. They're not coming to my brain right now, but there are definitely plenty to be able to choose from. All right, so the next, oh look, IP. You can't get too far in HPE with that. Look, there they are, looky there. All right, so next, this is the information that you need to know if you're interested in applying. Notice that in order to apply, there's a graduate application through the College of the graduate school at the University of Louisville. We do require one letter of recommendation, but I think the standard application will ask you for 2 names, but we'll get you in if if you get 1 letter submitted. Let's see. I need a personal statement. I want to know how you want to use this knowledge or use these skills, or what your expectations are, or what you want to do in the future, and how this program can help you. And then we do have to have official transcripts. This is required for accreditation purposes. So we do have to have all your official transcripts, and that is something that we can help you with. But one of the probably the most difficult things that people have to go through. So if you're interested in the master's, we've got a summer start date, and then we've got a couple of fall start dates. The certificate, we do not offer any of those core certificate courses in the summer. So people that just want to do the certificate, you can start in the fall or the spring. And as I said, we do 8-week courses. So most people take 2 courses per semester. So we call them, fall 1 and fall 2, spring 1 and spring 2. And then there's only 1 summer course in this summer semester. So there are 5 opportunities to take courses throughout the entire academic year. And you can also see that we've got start dates and deadlines, summer deadlines coming up quick for applying. So the other thing that lots of people always ask about is graduate tuition. The tuition is $850 per credit hour. If you happen to be active duty military, it is $250 per credit hour, which is amazing. And we have those 8-week asynchronous courses, except for the capstone. And it takes about 2 years and a semester to finish the master's. If you start, you take 1 class each, like fall 1, fall 2, spring 1, spring 2, summer. If you continue at that pace, it'll take 2 years and a semester to finish. So it is, some people can do it quicker, some people need to take longer. Obviously, there are always things that we can look at to help you finish the program. And so here we are. This is my colleague, Jamise Harris. She's the admissions specialist for the HPE program. She's online with us, and she will be able to answer all questions regarding the application process, and she'll be able to help point you in the right directions on getting your required transcripts and help you with all of those things. And so with a few minutes remaining, I always like to open it up for questions and see if anybody has something they want to ask. If not, you'll get some information from Jamise shortly, if not today, tomorrow. Oh, actually, it might be next week. I forgot. She's on vacation tomorrow. So it'll be soon. Anyway, are there any questions that I could answer at this time? We're a small group, so feel free to just unmute and
thank you for sharing everything. Wanted to get your perspective on if you have any folks who are administrators who go through the program and kind of the fit there, coming in with a background working on staff as an associate director of an MHSA program, and
Okay.
then separately teaching undergraduates as an adjunct, um, healthcare, health professions, intro to health professions, um, intro to healthcare, kind of online asynchronous first
Ah,
level courses.
gotcha. Well, I will say I I do have a couple of program directors. I have a PT who's a program director at a PT program that he is currently in the program. I have, I've had in the past some other types of administrators so that are, that work in the healthcare field. That have some responsibility for teaching. And so that is one of the things that I guess people are geared towards and what interests them, because everything that we do has that healthcare bent. And so we make sure that we are thinking and talking about, how does this look in a classroom setting, or how does this look if you're in a clinical learning environment, which, for your first years, your undergrads, they may not be in a clinical learning environment, but maybe they're headed that way. And you can help provide relevant experiences and thoughts on how they would deal with certain situations if they were in a clinical learning environment. But I mean, if you want to set up some time to talk more, I'm happy to do so. Um, and I can see about finding people within the program that you may be interested in talking with, that may be able to answer some of your questions around fit and that sort of thing.
Okay, yeah, I'll reach out. I'll send you an email after we hop off today.
Sure. Are there any other questions we can answer? I know some people don't like they just want to chat. I guess you could put something in the chat if the chat's open. I was trying to look because I'm on my phone. It's not as easy. Well, I am going to go ahead and I will hang here for a few minutes. If there are any questions from people that joined, and other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and enjoy this. Well, for me, we got some great spring weather today, so hopefully you're getting some great spring weather too. So thank you so much.
Looks like I'm last one left again.
Yeah, looks like it. You're the winner today.
I guess so. I was trying to think through if there's anything just in these last few minutes we had.
Sure.
Um, I'll just say, I really like that you mentioned that folks teaching the classes are coming from all different backgrounds, and so I was just even kind
Yes.
of thinking for um, the MHSA students, kind of how can the curriculum be informed by maybe things that I'm learning from different folks in different professions, um,
Wow.
and kind of from that level. Uh,
Where are you located at?
so Georgetown University for their
Okay.
MHSA program.
Gotcha.
Um,
So I mean, most everybody that has that's in our program has a clinical component to their world. I have PTs and OTs, and I have radiology techs and ultrasound techs, and people, all types of providers of different, everything from dental hygienists up to neurosurgeons have been in this
Mm.
program.
Mm.
And so there's quite a diverse array of folks that have been in and are currently in the program. And so I would definitely think you could gain some expertise and some, see things from their perspective a little bit, especially since you are dealing with the healthcare environment. But, you know, uh, just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, that's really helpful. And I'm earlier on in career and figuring out. So I'm wrapping
Yeah.
up my DHA program this semester.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. And from there, looking at kind of growth,
Right.
whether it's somewhere healthcare or higher education. I know the teaching as an adjunct is something I want to maintain. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but even, for instance, staying within higher ed, I'm currently in a school of health, so I could see myself, moving to the program level, or moving from the program level to the school level. Um, and our program, or our school rather, is only about 5 years old. Uh,
Oh, okay.
Used to be a nursing and health studies school, kind of branched off from that very, very recently. And so our dean has a lot of ideas for growth in the next few years, a lot of program
Fantastic.
building, certificates. And so
Yeah.
even kind of thinking through that, if there's an opportunity to maybe, have this background and to be able to come to him and say, I have some health professions education training, and I can
How
support
can I?
this program building. Exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of this, there's the program development course that is basically your nuts and bolts on how to build a program, and it could be anything. It could be from a full course. It could be, like a 3-year residency program. It doesn't matter because a program is a program, but having the knowledge and skills to go about building something is what's really important. And then the background in learning science and how learning works, and understanding, why our students currently are having trouble with critical thinking and clinical reasoning due to,
Mm.
AI and how that is impacting everything. And, so there's there's so much to learn. There really is.
So I'm really excited, and I think if not, this year, part of me is telling myself, okay, maybe take a break. But then another part of me is like, you're in school, you're in the mindset, this is something you want to do. Um, but no, this is really helpful, and I think I'm really interested in taking that next step to apply.
All right. Well, you'll get some information from Jamise, and then of course you can always reach out to me at any time. And if you want to set up some time to just chat separately, we can do that too.
We'll do. Well,
All
hope you have a
right.
good rest of your day.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Jamise, for all your help.
You're welcome. We got it done.
Yay! I know. Stupid traffic. I literally, where I'm sitting, I walk here all the time. I'm like,
Oh,
this was
yeah.
so, I couldn't even get home.
I know.
Yes, dumb traffic, dumb traffic. All right. Well, you're out tomorrow. I'm out tomorrow. So
Yep.
let's have a good little break.
Yeah, we'll have a good little break. I'll get something on the calendar for when we get back to meet. And then
Perfect.
my meeting with Kim went well. I just told her to pretty much for now just put in like the names, if they've graduated and well, oh yeah, that was the question I wanted to ask you. So a lot of them have, so instead of it saying HPE, they have ELFH or they'll have lead.
Right.
Do you want me to add
Yep.
those courses? Or can they, if they're
Oh,
HPE, like if it's ELFH 685, is that okay to say HPE 685 or?
I don't know. Let's just leave it blank for now.
Okay.
Um, just because like if I rely on that, like to create, records and stuff, then
Yeah.
I will, and not actually go pull the transcript, and then I wouldn't know that, oh, that was a College of Education course,
Okay.
not,
That's fine.
School of
We'll
Medicine
just put them
course.
in.
So,
Easier that way. I just wanted to make sure, and like I said, Kim said she'll get to it maybe next week sometime. But I just told her to put in the names, and if they've done the most of them have only done the certificate because I told her to do 2018 to 2022. So I just said put their
oh,
name 4 times, and then we can add the classes in. And I was like, if you can just do that, that helps a lot. So
no kidding. All right.
yeah,
Well, I appreciate that. All
yeah.
right. Well, have a good trip, and
All right, you too.
talk to you when you get back.
All right, bye.